August 16th school board meeting agenda is out, and there are a few interesting items I want to talk about. The agenda can be reviewed on the Dade School's website, and I'll place a link in my Linktree. First up is item C101, the proposed adoption of the School Board Policy 9147 and Educational Advisory Committee. This item is the final reading for the Educational Materials Advisory Committee. Basically, the school board is creating a specific committee to review all educational materials and will become Board Policy 9147. Here's a direct quote from the agenda. Read this bottom paragraph here to find out more about this agenda item. Now, here's my take on this. This item was put in place to appease Moms for Liberty and follows the new laws passed by DeSantis to include parent participation in the process. Is it a bad thing? Yes and no. Parents are not educators. They do not have the necessary training to know what kids need to learn, and as we all know, certain parents will find objection to just about anything. Next is E106, which is basically going to be approving the board schedule for 2024. It looks like they've taken the start of the school year into consideration because they tentatively set the August meeting for the 13th, which is a Tuesday. If the beginning of the school year starts on a Thursday again, as it does this year, that means that it will no longer fall on the day before the first day of school, giving parents the opportunity to attend school board meetings. What is interesting to see is that they are scheduling dates for instructional materials public hearings. So it looks like the committee that they're forming, as I spoke about on item C101, they will hold public hearings on. Next is G1, the proposed amendments to weapons and search and seizures in schools. This is a legal item by the board's lawyer that will cement the board's rules on weapons on school grounds and the policy surrounding search and seizures on school grounds. These are proposed changes to the language of the current policy, which cements that weapons are not allowed on school grounds, even in private vehicles. This is one of those items where we need to thank the school board for taking the safety of our kids into consideration. Next up is G8, which is the proposed amendments to school board policies regarding reproductive health and disease education, instructional materials, school library, media center, and other educational materials. This is the item we spoke about in the June meeting, and we expected it back on the agenda now in August, and here it is. Granted, the school board's hands are tied by state law and they cannot break that, but they are specifying that the whole process should be more transparent. I know it's hard to see, but in yellow above, it says any meetings of committees convened for the purpose of resolving an objection by a parent or resident to specific materials must be noticed and open to the public in accordance with section 286.011 and must include parents of students who will have access to such materials. This is another portion where there's something in the law that I don't like because it states that materials must now be approved by the Florida Department of Education, not the individual districts. This takes away any authority or autonomy for the districts as to what they can teach the kids in their area. My personal favorites, it's H6, menstrual hygiene products. I cannot love this enough. Board member Ms. Luisa Santos is introducing an item to make menstrual hygiene products available at each school within the district at no charge in the nurse's office or other physical school facilities for health services and in school restrooms. This should have been in place a long time ago, so all girls in our district can partake in their education without interruption. Not having access to menstrual hygiene products can make that difficult for them and can disrupt. And lastly, this is another personal favorite, H13, explore the feasibility of offering a remote option for the public participation at school board meetings. Finally, this is basically, I can't tell you how huge this item is. This will encourage parents to partake in the civic process, even when they cannot find someone to watch their kids. This has also been introduced by Ms. Luisa Baez-Geller, and it states the following. Right here above, it states to encourage participation, increase engagement, and promote transparency. An additional option for remote participation should be offered for school board meetings and any other public hearings that require public input for constituents. Other local and national municipalities utilize this method for public hearings, including video and voicemail recordings with specific time limits for the record. Personally, I cannot attend the August 16th meeting because of meet and greets at my kid's school, so I'm going to have to submit a letter for the record instead. I can understand not being able to participate in a school board meeting because of timing issues, and this would resolve all those problems for people that wish to participate but can't. That's all the items I wanted to talk about. Please refer to our school board resources page for the forms needed in order to speak and all information you need for the meetings and the members. You can write letters to submit into the record if you cannot attend the meeting, and that's not as impactful as attending the meeting and saying your piece, but it's better than nothing. So be sure to reach out to your member if you're going to do, if you want to partake in that option, so you can be able to submit that letter. It is very possible I missed something of importance, so please look over the agenda and make sure there's nothing I missed. If there is, let me know. You can let me know in the comments or on our social media. Also, if you have any questions and need any assistance, let us know so we can help. Until we can reverse these laws, we need to try and find a way to make the best of it and not allow one parent dictate what is in the best interest of all of our children. We need to all be able to participate in the civic process and be able to attend school board meetings and say our piece and advocate for our children.